Donald Trump and the very serious thinkers that he's got in his economics team, and I'm saying this as a very harsh and fierce critic of him and his team. So, we need to understand and not to dismiss our opponent as a buffoon when he may look like a buffoon, walk like a buffoon, but he's not a buffoon when it comes to his economic policy.
Right.
Look, his long-term project to bring manufacturing back to the United States involves a very delicate exercise. On the one hand, he wants to reduce the value of the dollar, the exchange rate between the dollar and the sterling, the euro, and so on. He wants to bring it down in order to make American exports more competitive and imports into the United States more expensive, and therefore shift jobs back to the Midwest, let's say. At the same time, and that's why I'm saying it's delicate, he wants to maintain the hegemony of the dollar.
Right.
So he doesn't want some other currency to replace the exorbitant privilege that the dollar affords anyone who happens to be in the White House. And the way he's okay, so how is this connected to Bitcoin and to the reserve, the strategic reserve? For the dollar to fall, he needs the Chinese, the Japanese, the Brits, and the Europeans primarily to sell many of their dollars, of their hoarded bucks, greenbacks. But he doesn't want them to buy the Chinese currency. He doesn't want them to buy the euro. He doesn't want them to buy the British pound, because that would defeat the purpose. So if he can create a flow of capital from the American dollar to a melange of cryptocurrencies, and especially if these cryptocurrencies are backstopped through some kind of stable coin, as it's called, the currency board, by the US dollar, he's achieved his objective. That, I think, is what is really lying at the heart of the thinking behind establishing this strategic reserve of cryptocurrencies.
What can actually come of this? I don't know. I think that the most dismaying stuff to me is not the threat necessarily to liberty right now, although there are some things to be worried about. It's just the corruption of it, like the meme coin corruption, the crypto corruption, the special dealings and special pleadings. One of the attractions that people don't seem to really understand why Trump loves tariffs so much is that historically tariffs are the biggest driver of political corruption, because every single interest goes hat in hand and either asks for an exemption to tariffs or asks that their competition get tariffed. It is a way to beseech those in power for special pleading. And that, I think, is the economic philosophy of this administration.
Yeah, that's a point that's made not often enough. The tariffs are often criticized as just bad economics, but it really is it's a bottleneck that Trump can construct so that he can dole out favors. I mean, it enables a kind of mob boss style of rule.
The mob boss thing is real. One of the biggest influences on Trump was this crooked Democratic machine mobbed up party boss in Brooklyn. And his whole approach to politics was punish you if you're an enemy and reward you if you're a friend. Trump's approach to macroeconomics is exactly that.